Well, welcome back to Carolina Saltwater Living, y'all. I'm excited. Got myself a brush cutter for the excavator. And today we're going to get this thing hooked up and give it its trial run to see how it does. Guys, thanks for stopping in. I promise we will get back to some more saltwater. But right now I got to pay the bills first. So pay the bills, then we'll go play. Let me give you a little rundown on this. This is a 36-inch model brush cutter. Bush hog for the front of the Kubota KX033-4 that I've been running now for over 3 years. And it's designed with a speed increaser on the top underneath of your pump system there to make this thing work with this size Mini. And I'm excited to get it, y'all. This is going to open up some new possibilities for me with my business. So I had told y'all a while back that I had sold the dump trailer. Haven't used it, y'all, since we moved down here but twice. Really didn't want to use it no more and didn't want to have 2 trailers to keep maintained, tires and all that. If I need something hauled, I'll call somebody and have something hauled. But I sold that, reinvested a portion of that money into this brush cutter, something that would actually make me money versus the dump trailer. And I know some people are like, you can make a killing with a dump trailer. Well, if I were 20 years younger and a whole lot more agile and didn't mind the manual labor or had the desire to rent one out to somebody, I'd do it. But didn't have that desire, y'all, didn't have the need. But this thing here is going to be nice. First thing I got to do is get some plumbing done on the stick. These Kubotas, most of them in this weight class, come with, if you can see this on the camera, a diverter on each side of the stick. And what that diverter does is allows you to be able to turn the flow. So right now it's hooked in to running the thumb. I'll be able to switch it, and I believe according to the manual I want what's considered continuous flow to use this implement. There's a switch up underneath the bonnet or the hood over here that I can turn to give myself continuous flow. Turn the flow here, and it should run this cutter no problem. For stuff up to 2 inches is what it's rated for. And y'all, if it's any bigger than that, might as well be having somebody mulch it down or just digging it up and pushing it off and burning it. So first things first, when we get this plumbed, I reached out to my local Kubota dealer and they sent me this little box for about $100 in the mail with a couple of American-made fittings in it to get this thing plumbed up. So that's my first step, a little bit of plumbing. Now these things come with a plug on one side of this diverter valve. And it's got a little O-ring here. And what the dealer sent me is just a male adapter that goes up in there. No bulkhead. I even called them. I said, are y'all sure this is right? don't need a bulkhead first. They said, nope, that's how we do it. Put you some piped up on it, run it straight up in there. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully it's right. We're gonna find out. You can use Teflon tape or pipe dope. I'm using pipe dope because I have some I hadn't even opened yet, so might as well use it for this project. No need to get it all the way up to the top. That should be more than enough. Go ahead and thread this up in here. And I believe this is a millimeter, like maybe 20 millimeter, but I can't find a 20 millimeter anywhere. So this is a 7/8, and it fits it pretty doggone good. So we're going to go with that. Snug it up. I believe we're about there. Taking it as far as it will go. And I believe we're there. We'll find out. And I believe I've got this correct. The male adapter on the left side facing away from the cab. We'll find out. Hey, this is Matthew Van down here in Supply. I got the brush cutter today. It looks fantastic. Just wanted to let you know it showed up. And I had a quick question on this, I believe the speed increaser. I noticed it's got 3/4 full rode on it. Do I need to top that off before I hook this thing up? No, good to go. And let me ask you one more question so I'll know. That the speed reducer itself, does that take gear oil or is that going to be fed off my hydraulics?
It's going to be fed off your hydraulics.
Excellent. All right.
Marinhausen's the only place that takes any gear oils out of the Marinhausen. It takes 90 weight gear oil.
90 weight. All right. Well, thank you very much, and y'all have a good one. Bye-bye. All right, we're plumbed up and ready to hook this implement up for the first time. Let me spin the camera, y'all. Sorry, I'm trying to work with the lighting here so you can actually see stuff. And I filmed that when we called them just to show you every time that I've called, which has only been a few times, I actually called to order. I don't like making a purchase that's large over the computer, so I always call to make that purchase. But they're always quick to answer and very helpful. If you noticed, I had some questions about the speed increaser, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you could hear that little bit of conversation. But they're quick to answer and always helpful. We've got the male end on this side and the female on the other side. So let's hook this thing up, get bolted up to the machine. I am going to secure my thumb with a strap up to here because these things have a tendency to leak down on these Kubotas. And so I am going to secure that. And I'm also going to turn the valve underneath the hood. It's on the very front of the cab to the right. Right now it's in up and down position. I'm going to turn it to the right. There's a little diagram in there that shows you what to turn it to. So I'm going to try that. I believe that's how this thing's supposed to run based off the manual and based off of what I have seen online reading. So let's get this thing hooked up. I know these hoses are going to be extra long, so I'm going to see if I can come up with a solution so they're not dangling everywhere. Well, I've run into a little bit of a snag. I decided to try to beat my pin through because it was just a little bit off right here. And there was a little bit of wiggle room, so I kept wiggling, trying to get this thing to line up perfectly with the pin. And made the mistake of hitting the other side of the pin with a little 2-pound sledge, actually my little hatchet, the backside of my hatchet, and snapped the pin holder off the other side. Well, 100-mile trip later and $200 plus gas, got a new pin, and I just wasn't holding my mouth right. Apparently, the new one fit right in there. So did the old one. Just didn't quite have it lined up just right. But nothing wrong with the implement thing. Looks fantastic. In the morning, in the daylight, I'll get this thing out and we'll give it a test run and a little bit of brush. All right, y'all. It's the next day. Everything's set up. Still got to work on my hoses a little bit to get them where I want them. But let's give this thing a test run. I went ahead and set all the digital stuff up on the display for the brush coater, one-way flow, maximum hydraulic flow. Made sure that the carrier is spinning like it's supposed to. So first cut, let's see what happens. Spool it up. Nice and violent. It works. And that's spooled up the whole time. Let's see if it'll track when it's spooled. Oh yeah. No problem whatsoever. Trying to be mindful of anybody might be driving by because this thing is slinging. Just getting an idea of what this thing will do. I like it. Should kill it. Get the spooled up button, and you don't have to leave it spooled up the whole time. You can do it from your thumb control, but why not spool that thing up if you're cutting in something and just let it run? I mean, I know that it's going to make my hydraulic pumps on the machine work more, but it's construction equipment. This thing's made to work, so. And this is light cutting, y'all. This ain't bad at all, but you spool it up with the thumb, but you gotta hold it the whole time. Because as soon as you turn her loose, it spools right back down. I like that continuous flow. Because then you can just work. It off, let it spool down, and there is no vibration whatsoever on the machine with this cutter, y'all. I'm really impressed so far, you know. I mean, it's no different than bush hogging with the tractor, other than you can reach things you can't reach with the tractor. You can work your way in a little bit easier. I'm impressed. All right, y'all, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. So, initial impression with the Rutt Manufacturing 36-inch mini excavator brush mower, brush cutter. I'm impressed. The material I was cutting there was some of it up to 2 inches. It says it's made for up to 2 inches. I got a feeling it would probably do a little bit more. Not that I really want to test its limits, y'all, because $3,400 shipped to me. And to me, it's worth every bit of that, because it's going to do some jobs that before I was having to dig stuff out, haul it off, or burn it. My lungs can't take burning no more, so I don't do burn jobs any longer. So this is going to open up some new possibilities for me, and nothing else, help maintain the road that we live on, the tree line, right-of-ways, cleaning up this side of the property over here. It's going to be nice to be able to do that, keep stuff from creeping in. And not a sponsored video, go ahead and tell you that. They sent me a t-shirt, if you want to call that sponsored, but I do appreciate the t-shirt. You know, that was a nice gesture, but they may not even see this video. I'll try to see if they can, but been plenty of videos done on these Rutt Manufacturing brush cutters. I'll do some as we're clearing this other side to our property, because we've got some plans over here eventually, and so I want to get this stuff cleared up. But y'all, I'm impressed. If you need something like this for your property, definitely give them a shout. We like them, North Carolina company. And I will tell you, I was going to buy a flail mower. I thought it would be better down here where I'm at, you know, less debris flying everywhere, and it would. But the one that I was wanting to buy, an Italian-made design, not the cheap stuff that you've seen if you're looking at stuff like this, nightmares. It's called the, and I'll plug it, the Lipa. I was going to do that, but if I'd have done that, I would have spent all of the money that I was going to reinvest in that. So I went with a half the price cutter. Yes, it's totally different cutter. This is not a flail. It's going to throw stuff everywhere, so I got to be mindful of where I actually use this thing at, and even when I am using it, be mindful of how I operate it, keeping that blade pointing at a downward angle away from me a little bit, and being mindful of vehicles and other property and things like that. But this is going to do what I need to do, and maybe one day I'll end up with one of those Lipas, but $7,000 versus $3,400, and I can do probably 90% of what I need to do with this one. So tickle with it. Guys, thanks for stopping in. Hope you enjoyed this video. It was, like I said before, that pin not going in, that was my error. That was human error. I just had to wiggle it just right, and it slipped right in. So $200 mistake, but that's all right. I'll fix the other one, and then I'll have a spare. Y'all have a good day and a great week. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high. We will see you on the next one. I got to get loaded up. Got a job to do with this thing tomorrow. Thankful for the work, y'all, and thankful for you guys. We'll see you on the next one.